What's up, my good people, and welcome back in to the Bully Ball Show on Sparks TV. As always, I'm your host, Nino Sparks, aka the Mid Range Bully. Now, great video for you today. Figured we jump right back in, give you our top five teams in the Eastern Conference to start off the season, kick off the season, excuse me. Who are going to be the top five teams in the Eastern Conference? And again, this is a range from around the first 10 to 15 games. What do we have? What is it going to look like? So let's jump right into it. But as always, before we get started, if it's your first time tapping in, or maybe you tapped in a few times, go ahead, tap that like, tap that subscribe, tap that notification bell, stay tapped in. Let's get this shit. Okay, so top five teams in the East. We got to give our respect to the defending champs, the Boston Celtics. The fucking Celtics. I hate to say it, as a Laker fan, as an LA guy, I can't stand them. Can't stand them. Paul Pierce, shout out to Paul Pierce, legend from Inglewood, still can't stand them. But they did do their thing. And if I'm being honest, you could always see, if they kept them together, you could always see them guys winning the championship. They deserve to win the championship because they did it the right way. They built within, they added pieces, and those two guys, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they've been good as advertised since they came into the league. And at any point, one of those guys probably could have asked out. Maybe they did ask out behind the scenes and it never came out. But they stuck together, they did their thing. And that's about as much love as I can give them. But they are the one seed. They do still look like the best team in the league as far as continuity, as far as the roster, as far as the players they have on there, which is why it was so absurd for what Steve Kerr did to Jason Tatum. And I hope he didn't break him because I'm a Jason Tatum fan. Don't root for the Celtics, but I root for that guy and Jaylen Brown to do good. I just like them as players. The way they play the game, the way they come in shape better every year. They play most of it. It seems like they play every game. Like, it's what's not to like about them dudes, other than the fact that they're Celtics. But what Steve Kerr did to Jason Tatum was absurd, and I hope he comes back with a motherfucking vengeance. I hope he didn't break him. I hope he comes back even more turned up. Like, oh, y'all owe me. Y'all must have forgot. I'm one of the best players in the league. They guard him like one of the best players in the league. He gets paid like one of the best players in the league. Commercials and shit like one of the best players in the league. And I was going to do another video on Nike and the hypocrisies there. And how him being a Jordan guy and it seeming like they played book above him because he's a Nike guy with a new shoe out, got the commercial and shit. It just seemed all too set up, which is why, like, imagine if Jordan was his own brand as opposed to his brand being owned by Nike. Look how they did him. Look how they did the face of your brand. Jason Tatum is the face of Jordan. They just had that thing where they did in China with all the Jordan guys. Who was in the center? Jason Tatum. Luka is the face internationally if you want to run that. Then you could say Zion, Paolo, Rui, guys like that. But the face is clearly Jason Tatum. And they ain't even playing. It was a moment where they was where Team USA was good and they was coming back in the huddle and JT was looking straight at Devin Booker. Looking at him like, man, you did me wrong. And he didn't do nothing. All Devin Booker did was play his ass off. But he looked, just the look he had in his eye, like, man, they played me. Because as great as Devin Booker is, he's not as good as Jason Tatum. He's not. Booker is one of the best scorers in the game, period. But JT is that Plus, he can lock up on the other end. Plus, he's like 6'9", with a dumb handle, with a step back from either side, with a mid-range, with a post-up, gets to the free throw line, can finish at the rim, can legit guard 1 through 3. We seen him guard 4s in the playoffs, can make plays for others. I just wanted to dive into that. That's the guy who didn't get playing time on Team USA. It makes absolutely no sense. And I ain't even gonna go too far on the other guy that should have been on Team USA, his teammate, the guy who just won the Finals MVP, the second best player on the Celtics. If you had to rate the top 10 players in the league, he'd probably be in there. No way in hell some of them other guys should have been on there instead of him. But we know how deep that goes. That has to do with Nike. That has to do with religion. That has to do with being militant to them. That goes deep. And I hope that guy, Jaylen Brown, comes back on motherfucking fire. I'm talking about MVP season, loaded. And again, I don't want the Celtics to win shit. But I hope that dude and Jason Tatum, I hope they don't even let that sink in. Y'all ain't about to let them break. Y'all ain't about to break them up. I hope that makes them stronger. So I got the Celtics as the number 1 team in the East and probably the league. And that's about as much love as they gonna get. Because I hope they don't two-peat with all that good shit I just said. I hope they don't get it. I bet you don't get it. What did they say? I hope you don't get it. Which brings me to the second team that's gonna be nipping at their heels. People are sleeping now. They acting like that it's a farther gap. The New York Knicks is right there. Jalen Brunson, MVP season, right there. I had him winning it last year. Should have won it last year. Of course, they weren't gonna give it to him. They had been building Jokic for that third MVP since the beginning of the season last year. I don't see it. Should have been Shea or Jalen Brunson. We talking about a guy that went from being the 6th man, basically the 6th man, to playing next to Luka. He's a good role player. From that to he can start when Luka's out. Oh, he can win you some games. To can he be a starter? Becomes the starter with the Knicks. Oh, can he be a franchise guy? Becomes a franchise guy. MVP caliber player. It just keeps getting better with him. Just keeps getting better. Now that guy got his whole crew. I didn't think the Nets would ever give him Mikal Bridges. I don't even remember what they gave up for him. But the Knicks got him. And shout out to the Knicks. After being in mediocrity for years, flipped the switch when they got new guys running the show. And now we're seeing what that looks like. The Knicks, they right there. I got them going to the Eastern Conference Finals. The only question is against who. They're going to be that good off the rip. They might be the 1 seed. But they number 2 for sure. And number 3, gotta give it to the Sixers. They won the offseason. We talking about the best player available. They went and got the best player available. And you gotta give it up to Joel Embiid. Because he recruited. We seen him do it live on TV. He said we can add some pieces. So let's see what it looks like when he's got comparable help. Maxey, a whole nother leap forward. I don't have his stats, but he's going to improve by at least 3 points. If he was scoring 20 a game, he's scoring 23 a game this season. Because now the center focus has to be Joel Embiid and Paul George, just off cachet. Because you know what PG going to do. I like Kelly Oubre in that lineup with him as a point attack defender. Oh, yeah. The Sixers have a chance to be the 1 seed. If all things click, and we still got to see it, but off the rip, they look like they the 3rd best team. 4th best team. I got to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. I think Dame comes back. Hopefully he got whatever he was going through. Hopefully that situation ain't none of my business, but hopefully, bless the brother, hopefully he got that handled and he comes back healthy, mentally there, comfortable now in the system. Him and Giannis, that should be something. The only question is Middleton. That's the biggest question mark with the Milwaukee Bucks. But I think getting Gary Trent Jr., that is a motherfucking step up. People sleeping on that. Gary Trent, that's a guy that could give you buckets and lock up. Guard your best player on the other end. They sleeping on Gary Trent. Taurean Prince being there. Now, I didn't like him in the starting lineup with my team, but I like him with the Bucks. They still got Brook Lopez, if I'm not mistaken. That's still a championship team. They should be top 5 off the rip, which brings me to 5. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you wanted to say Indiana, I'd give you that. Tyrese Halliburton, that's my dog. I'd give you that. They're going to play fast. They're going to move the ball up and down. They're going to do their thing. Only question is the health. Is Tyrese Halliburton going to be healthy? Because without him, they a play-in team. At best. If you wanted to say Cleveland, I wouldn't fight you. Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, they kept them together. They didn't trade them. Everybody said they want to be here. Let's see what it looked like. Hell, they might be even higher on this in the list. If all things click. But I think I gotta go with the Orlando Magic. It's the Magic's time, y'all. They've been building for some years now. And I think they finally got the pieces. And Paolo Banchero, MVP season loading. Off the rip. He's not going to finish in the top 3, but he's going to finish in the top 5. I could see this dude averaging 30 this season. 28 to 30 points a game. Paolo Banchero. He's like that dude. He's the new Melo. Off the rip. And I know the 3, not every great player needs to shoot 3s. KD got that 3 in his bag. But is that what he goes to? Nah, he goes to that left crossover to get to that right elbow and pull up over you. And once he pulls up, it's good night, Irene. It's cash. You've seen him do it to Serbia. Hell, I was watching him and Chet going back and forth. He did it to Chet. So not every guy needs to be a 3-point sniper. Paolo Banchero is great at getting to his spots and pulling up, and the game is slowing down for him. It's gonna be slow motion this season, baby. He gonna be dirty dancing on. If you got a fan, if y'all play fantasy basketball, you better have Paolo in there, cause he getting buckets this season. Them getting KCP, that's a big motherfucking deal. That's gonna pay dividends. They still got Suggs. They gonna, I'm telling y'all, I told y'all last season about Orlando Magic. People's looking at me crazy. What they do, they got to the offs, they made some noise. This season, they second round for sure. They second round for sure. Can they get to the conference? That to me is if I had to put a ceiling, I don't like to put a ceiling on players or teams, but if I had to put a ceiling on them, I would say conference finals. But that's what I got for y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. My top 5 teams in the East. I got the Boston Celtics. I got the New York Knicks. I got the Philadelphia 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks, and Orlando Magic. And if I had to give a 6th team, I would go with the Indiana Pacers. Miami Heat, as much as I love Jimmy Butler, I think that's a team ready to implode. Keep a close watch on the Miami Heat. Don't be surprised, Jimmy Butler. They not giving him an extension. What are they doing with him? They just gonna let him play it out? Earn your extension. You really want to go that route with Jimmy? I could be wrong. They could hit the ground running. They could be a top 5 team back at it. Like I said, if Jimmy wasn't hurt last season, he's sending people home. That's my dog. I don't root against buckets. You know what I'm saying? Big face coffee gang. I don't root against Jimmy Buckets. That's my dog. But that's all I got for free. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Who are y'all top 5 teams in the East? Are y'all rocking with me? Or y'all rocking with the Orlando Magic? Do you think they still got more to prove? Do you think Cleveland's more proven? Do you think the Heat find their way in there? What about the Hornets? When are they going to turn the corner? When can they be the feel-good story of the NBA? You brought back Miles Bridges, Melo, and Brandon Miller. They look like they could be a top backcourt, especially in the Eastern Conference. We'll see what that looks like. If Melo could stay healthy, can Melo put it together? At some point, LaMelo, you got drafted with Anthony Edwards. It don't even look like y'all was in the same draft. And before Ant-Man became Ant-Man, people were speculating, hey, Melo could have went first. We know he should have went second. James Wiseman, is he even in the league? That's all I got for y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments section. I'm going to tap back in later. Peace.